Everything I spit rare, we sounded that great. Area podcast, they talk about hip hop all the way in the UK, so they gon' get props. Ooh, let me catch it once again.
Release. No, I say release Queen Caps. What the fuck? That's not what this is. This is Discog Discussions. Shit, man. Read the run through it. It said recap. I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on? Sorry. J. Cole Discog Discussions. My body wants to say release recap, but this is a series that we do quite a lot. This is the 10th one. I can't remember the other 9, but we've done like MF Doom. Maybe, no, we haven't done Nas yet. We've done a lot of people on this Discog discussion thing, right? We talk ourselves through an artist's discography, touch on where we think they're at the time, and then where we think they're going to go in the future, or if they're no longer with us, what we thought of their career as a whole. We've split this into 5 eras, mainly going based off projects. So we've got era 1, mixtape era 2, debut album, era 3 being kind of like J. Cole's turning point, era 4 his feature run, era 5 obviously being the state we're in now, so from 2021 up until now with J. Cole, or as friends like us call him, Jermaine.
This is an episode that we've been talking about doing for a long time. This one has always been in the mix since we started doing this.
So we're diving straight into era 1, but before we get into era 1, when was everybody introduced to J. Cole? I'm not sure everyone was listening to J. Cole from 2007 to 2010, apart from me and Kieran. And I think me and Kieran should go last because our story's kind of shared. It's got shared origins.
No, with me, it was, I think Sean put me on J. Cole. When did Who That drop?
2010?
Yeah.
2010. That was the first introduction for me with Cole, because I think Sean put me on and said, "Oh, listen to this," and I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I like what he's doing here." That's when I could then just delve straight back into his mixtapes before his debut album, because then when I started checking all the mixtapes, that's how I was instantly, because that was the time when I was at uni, and that was it. Like his mixtapes, all of them, the Warm Up, Come Up, Friday Night Lights, that was it. I was sold, and then the debut album drops, and then I'm just a J. Cole fan from then on, and the story continues, always checking for J. Cole, but it was definitely Who That was the first introduction.
Okay, and Neil, correct me if I'm wrong, I remember you really liking Sideline Story. I don't know if it was, I don't know if it was you was listening to J. Cole beforehand, or you just like Sideline Story and you started there. But when was your entry to Cole?
It was Sideline Story.
Okay.
So because that was the debut album, and then I think this is the time back I was watching MTV and BET, and he would that video come up a lot on BET show, the Who That video, and I think that was my introduction. And then the album dropped, and there was like 3 or 4 hit songs, and then I was like, oh my god, this album! I was like, yeah. So I think that was it. But that was like, I didn't dive into him deep in terms of his mixtapes afterwards. That was a lot later for me. But more so, I liked him as a mainstream artist. That was my. So I was listening to his features and his hit songs after that. So
yeah, and if we think about it fairly, at that time, Kanye's on a massive run, Jay-Z's still quite active, Drake. There was a lot of big rappers out there. J. Cole was an up and comer that was not getting lost in the shuffle, but was definitely entering the shuffle here and there. Like, I distinctly remember both me and Neil liking certain J. Cole kind of songs just because he played basketball a lot and he mentioned basketball, so that was quite nice. But
then also as well, I think for him, sorry to cut you off,
that's right.
Was that for me also because the bigger hype about him about being Jay-Z's artist from Rock Nation.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of like, oh shit, like who is this guy? Do you know what I mean? Because for like an outsider looking into this new guy, I'm like, why is it him? Why is he picking him? So
yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. Now, on to me and Kieran while we still have him, while he's still awake. Me and Kieran, as if you're a keen listener of this podcast, you'll know me and Kieran used to sit on MSN. If you don't know what MSN is, then that's your problem. But we used to sit on MSN and send each other music all the time and listen to it, kind of like having our own listening parties. And realistically, I don't know who sent who what mixtape or whatever, but this was like 2008, 2009. Someone sent someone the warm up or the blow up or one of the ups. And then that was it for me and Kieran. We were locked in.
That would have been 09 probably, wouldn't it?
definitely. I mean, it was possibly '08. You know, I can't lie.
Well, so the thing is, me and Kieran used to listen to so much music every day. We don't remember what we were listening to, but like, oh, we've seen this guy before. We like the last one. We listened to the new thing. Like, if I opened up my old laptop, I'd be able to see like when I downloaded it and tell you more precisely. But I distinctly remember before Sideline Story, me and Kieran were already sold on J Cole. Like, we were fully sold on J Cole.
Like we were tapped in when Lost One was like just a demo version that was already released before Silent Story dropped. We were
Yeah,
tapped in with Lights Please as well, really early. I remember Lights Please as a single before the warm up dropped as well, and I
yeah,
just thought this story is incredible. Like
yeah.
it was one of those rapper stories that just taps you in. I don't think you really get those like hero stories these days with the new rappers as much.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy because I think at the time there was no new up and coming rappers that were doing it like J. Cole with the mixtapes, for me at least. Like the storytelling, the level of the bars. Obviously, if you look at like with a bit of a finer lens compared to now, yeah, it's a bit dated. Yeah, some of it's a bit corny, or some of it's a bit, you know, touch and go. And I'll talk about that a bit later. But the mixtape era for me is still probably my favorite Cole era. Like I could go back and listen to the warm up or sideline story or Friday Night Lights and still have a really good time on just those three projects. So kind of the way discussion goes, if you're already this far in, you I would hope you already know because you've listened to a previous one. But if you don't, we all pick a song now because there's five of us. We have to try either stretch for five eras or just have one pick each. And era one is my era, isn't it? Yes, no.
Yeah.
For me, I wanted to pick from Friday Night Lights. But then when I looked a bit deeper at Friday Night Lights versus Sideline Story, there's a lot of crossover tracks. And arguably for me, some of the best tracks from Friday Night Lights are some of the better songs on Sideline Story. So I completely left that alone. And I went with the warm up because if I'm honest to myself, the warm up was where I really, really like fell in love with Cole's music at the time. And I really, really struggled to pick a song from just that one project. It starts so strong, it ends so strong, the middle is so strong. But because I had to pick something, I decided to go with what I think is genuinely one of my favorite J. Cole tracks when you look at it from a perspective of what J. Cole does. So if you think about he raps, he produces, he's kind of like a not a mini Kanye, but he wants to be in that kind of same lane. I've gone with World is Empty, which for me, it just encapsulates Cole in a fantastic way. The storytelling, the beat, everything about it does what it needs to do. For me, that track just encapsulates how good Cole was from the start. Like it it just shows you how good his storytelling is, how kind of he's conscious of things that aren't so good in the scene at the time. But bearing in mind, if we look back to that time, we were very deep into the kind of gangster rap, naked girls shaking their bums in bikinis. There was no one really on this level of consciousness that was obviously he's become mainstream afterwards, but who was really talking like this in a palatable way. All the conscious rappers are always too conscious where you can't actually vibe to the song. But Cole was doing for me a good mix of the consciousness over some stuff that I could actually just play in the background and still have a vibe to. I think as well, it kind of speaks to why he popped off because if this is his first, I say in quotes first mixtape, it's the first mixtape that I heard at the time. This is high quality stuff even now if you listen to it. If you go back and listen to the whole of the warm up, that is basically an album. Obviously, some beats are borrowed from other places, but mixed in and around that is beats produced solely by him and rapped on solely by him with no other credits other than himself, much like early Kanye.
It's true because it's when I've gone back to deep the mixtapes, I can't believe that the level that he came in straight away with them because you're not actually really finding anyone else with that sort of level on the mixtapes. And when you're talking about conscious, I think he was able to like sort of reach to listeners because, like I said, obviously my introduction being Who Dat, and then me being in uni myself. And just him talking about his college raps and him talking about to come up and like what it's like to sort of work your way and try and get that shot, he was able to reach to me straight away. So I was instantly like, yeah, I'm well into J. Cole. And then I was able to plug other people on my course into J. Cole. And they're like, yeah, this is amazing. And he just, Sean's mentioned it before. He's just got that nice rap voice as well. It's a nice voice to listen to when he's rhyming. It's not like some voices you can't really get along into. Well, picking my right words. So, for example, I don't mean to like dig him out, but when Kendrick first came out on the scene, his voice used to be a bit annoying for me. Even though obviously he was barring, and I could resonate with the lyrics and what he was talking about, and I thought this was amazing. His voice just didn't hit with me at the beginning, where J. Cole never ever had that problem. As soon as I hear that man just like speak on the microphone and just start barring, you're instantly like boom, like listening and just thinking, who is this guy? I want to hear more of him. And then when you just go on that mixtape journey, man, I'm sorry, it's just something else. I love always delving back, going straight from the come up to the warm up to Friday Night Lights. I think it's such a nice journey, and it's brilliant. Like, I can't believe he was able to produce that body of work that early, right out of the gate, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I feel like he's got one of the nicest rap voices for sure. Like, I was listening to Method Man, Biggie, Tupac. The way this one, it's just the levels are straight. I was like, cool. He compares to this already.
Yeah.
It's mad.
And as well, he knows how to deliver his bars. I feel like what Theo's touching on is definitely true for Kendrick. In the beginning, the reason why it's a hard listen is because sometimes he's trying to not rush through the bars, but his delivery wasn't always in the right place, like where it is now. Like if you look at Kendrick now, he's all about the delivery of every line, every single nuance of a flow. But J. Cole had that from the beginning, in my eyes, where he never felt uncomfortable on a beat. He never sounded like he was. It just sounded genuine. It sounded real, and it still is, proof that J. Cole has.
No, definitely. He's got that authentic, relatable voice, I feel like. It's good.
100%. And, obviously we've spoken about the warm-up. The blow up, is it called? Yeah, the blow up. I never really liked that project. Never really listened to it that much. It's still very good, but the follow-up from the warm-up, Friday Night Lights, oh my God. I wanted to pick tracks from there, like I said earlier, but most of it is the Sideline Story. But I just want to highlight one track on there called Back to the Topic, which is like a freestyle track that he did on there.
Yes.
That track is absolutely insane for me.
It's crazy. The levels he's rapping, that's an amazing album.
That song is giving me the same feeling that the new track Clouds is giving me, if you know what I mean.
Come on,
hang on a second. This man's going absolutely nuts here. And it wouldn't be right of me to cross over into the next area without mentioning a lovely little story. Me and Kieran were such big fans of J. Cole that by the time Sideline Story dropped, he had announced a UK performance, not a tour, just one performance in Hammersmith Apollo, which is like West London, so not too far for us, about an hour away on the train. Me and Kieran went, and we weren't trying to do stand-in, or maybe we couldn't get standing tickets. I don't know. We had seated tickets, but we were standing the whole time. And unfortunately for Kieran, he lost his voice before J. Cole even came out.
I felt like I lost my virginity that night. I swear the way I was spitting with him.
So the DJ came out and played way too hard for like when you're a DJ, you're meant to warm up the crowd, yeah. The DJ absolutely killed it. Had like a weird scratch set that got Kieran so excited. By the time J. Cole came out, Kieran had no voice. No voice. I've got videos of it somewhere where you can hear him in the background. It sounds like it's so bad. But a Sideline Story, I don't know if I'm correct in saying this. I think
Wait. Well, how can we just brush over what Kieran just said? I
just got to skip past
explanation. What did you mean?
He had his wet dreams. That's what you had going on that day.
Everything happened.
Oh my days! Man.
To be fair, it was my first solo concert. Well, I say solo, first concert as an adult per se. We were like 16, 17. Had a little bit of money. Obviously, scratched together some coins for some merch as well that we still rock to this day.
Come on, the way we're still wearing those hoodies is actually kind of.
I had a T-shirt that I think I gave away to one of my exes. I'm so pissed about that. I had a Dreamville T-shirt and the J. Cole hoodie, the horns and the halo time. But yeah, era 2 is Kieran's era, isn't it? Sideline Story era.
Wait, I have a question quickly. Yeah, you mentioned the blow up a couple of times. Do you mean the come up?
Is that what
the
it's
first
called?
mixtape?
No, there's a blow up, Sean. There's blow up.
Is that the unofficial one though?
I think it is unofficial, but this is the thing. Like he was just dropping. He was just feeding the fans constantly. And I think someone compiled it, and he just
right.
Oh, okay.
I just remember the blow up being like a picture of J. Cole with a blue face, blue background.
Blue,
Am I right
yeah,
by saying that? Yeah.
Okay, sorry. The come up. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. The blow up. Maybe the blow up is on Spotify as well.
Because no, I know what you mean, because I do like I remember the cover art that Theo was saying, but I didn't know if you meant the come up or whether you meant this one. Yeah, I
No,
was just a bit confused because there's the blow up is a track on Friday Night Lights as well, isn't it?
There is a
or,
thing
or
called
not
The Blow
the
Up.
blow up. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because I'm looking at Reddit threads of what is the blow up. But anyway,
And also, I just wanted to give a quick bit of love to the come up because one of the earliest J. Cole songs that I fell in love with was "Can't Cry." That was one of my favorite J. Cole songs when I first got into him. And "School Days" is one that's just kind of
This is amazing.
got better with time for me. That one,
All the Simba series as well. Like the early phase is just so cool. Dolan and Dream series.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I think just the final thing I'd say is because I'm thinking about like the climate at the time and who else was, forgive the pun, on the come up, but like I know Wale was doing his thing at the time. Obviously Drake really popped off in '09. There was Cuddy. So there was quite a lot of quite different voices, and I think Cole just kind of represented, like I say, all he he obviously reminded me of Ye, but also a bit of like Jay and Nas. But there was something quite what's the word, like traditional, I guess, and there was like a real sort of essence, like the essence of hip hop. I felt with J. Cole as well. It was that was something that, although it may not have been sort of super what's the word, like refreshing, at the same time it was like a necessary voice among all those that were coming up at the time. I felt like
no, yeah, you're right.
it's interesting, because it reminds me of a quote I heard. I can't even remember the whole track, but he says like he perfected his style coming in the game, and then everything shifted. I think it's quite interesting because I think that's what era 2.
oh, okay.
No, that's quite true. And I mean, we're trying to desperately get onto era 2 here. Now Sean's done with his interjections of, is this a real project or
There's
not?
so much to unpack, man. This is a long time coming, this episode.
This is true. But yeah, Sideline Story / Born Sinner. So the two debut projects. I think we can all agree by this time we're all listening to J. Cole now. I have fond memories of listening to this album or all these albums with all of you at different times.
Yeah, well, I was definitely caught up by this point, and then went to see Cole when the album dropped as well. So yeah.
Okay. Well, Kieran, it's your time to shine,
No,
man. This is your era.
This is
not
me.
me,
This is
man.
me.
Oh, is it? Okay, Theo, it's your time to shine.
Yeah, it's my time. So yeah, so era 2, man. This is where J. Cole like finally drops that debut album, and all the hype and the build is like here. So yeah, coming from the mixtapes, where obviously delving in, he was just obviously just dropping absolute fire, and then here we go, the Sideline Story. And I'll never forget where I was at uni, just thinking, oh yeah, checking this out, and just the intro where he's just doing his little, where it just sets the sort of the tone, and just that sort of build into like, oh yeah, this is it. I'm signed. This is my debut album. Finally about to like put my body of work and let everybody know like I'm here and this is what I'm about. And yeah, I remember the album as a whole it was great. I think it's still a solid debut, and I love the tracks on there. Some of my highlights like Mr. Nice Watch, like Please, obviously Can't Get Enough.
Mr.
Loving
Nice
all the vibes.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I always
Mr. Nice
I always
Watch.
like
That's a
Mr.
good
Nice
song.
Watch.
That's a very good
I
song.
always like Mr. Nice Watch. Do you not like that song?
Yeah, come on, the beats are gas.
Oh, come on, man!
Mr.
You
Nice
don't
Watch.
Don't give that energy.
I'm not having that, man. Mr. Nice Watch.
No, I liked it. I've
That
always
was like an
liked Mr. Nice Watch.
aspirational
If you
tune.
don't,
It's like,
yeah,
hello,
I've
Mr.
always
Nice-
liked Mr. Nice Watch. Yeah.
He was just trying to enter that world. Like he
it
rocked
was aspirational. man.
That's fair enough if you don't like it, Sheep. But I've always liked it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny, because I can actually see why you don't. I can see coming from where you're thinking why you don't like that song. But I've always liked that song personally.
That was
Obviously,
his
and
most
then,
braggadocious track at the time as well. That's what was good about it.
Yeah. Obviously, he had bigger highlights. Obviously, like songs like Rise and Shine is probably my favourite song out of that album. And then Breakdown is amazing as well.
Breakdown is amazing, yeah.
Yeah. But I thought that album as a whole was, I thought it was good, solid debut. And then just moving on to Born Sinner, oh my God, I'm telling you, I flipping love this album, man. I remember exactly where I flipping was, where I've listened to this album. I just thought he just elevated. I was working at Wimbledon at the time and listening to this, and I can still just remember just listening back to front. This album is just absolutely just incredible and so like his introspective lyrics and just the storytelling and reflecting on all the experiences of his challenges that he's finding in the music industry, and just I can just list and go on, but I'm rambling on now because I can touch and delve in this. But the song choice that I had to pick, I I, I struggled because there was a immediate choice that I had straight away, which is going to be my song choice. But there's so many good songs on Born Sinner that I'll probably touch on afterwards. But the song I've gone for is probably obvious now, that I've gone for Let Nas Down, because I just remember listening to it at the time and just thinking, yeah,
Nice.
I was just a brilliant
Yeah.
song.
I have a lot to say about this song because you know how I used to feel about Nas. I won't voice that opinion just yet, but I let Nas down. Who cares about Nas? I mean, to be fair, it's not my favorite song of the album, but it is a very good one. If I'm being critical as opposed to objective, if that makes sense. Not objective, opinionated.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. The reason I like it so much, because maybe at the time of listening, and I'm just thinking, I just had graduated, and I just think it was, for me, listening to that song, it's such an incredible sort of moment of like getting that disappointment, but being able to produce art like that. Like, you can just, everyone can react to like disappointment in like anger, like be upset and do things that aren't right. But for him to take that and then to make that into a song that I just think is so deep and personal, and just to reflect on that and just think, yeah, like he idolizes Nas, that was his idol, and then the disappointment that he must have felt, but he was able to just put that into music and create art as a result of that. It's just, I don't know, I took maybe that inspiration from it. I just thought that the whole track as a whole was just beautiful and it's just amazing, and that's always stuck with me. And I remember when I first listened to the album, that was the track that just stuck with me straight away. I just thought I had to go with that track. But the other tracks I was looking towards is like Mo Money. The interlude, I think that's a fantastic track. So that was very
All
close.
the interludes on that album,
Yeah,
they're crazy.
the fire, absolutely unbelievable. Just
got
this
classic
album as a
energy.
whole, to be honest. Yeah,
The
exactly.
interesting thing about Born Sinner is I wouldn't say it's a concept album, but it was definitely a much more solid, tight project than.
This is what I was going to ask. What does the cover mean? Because this is quite a cryptic cover of
It's
his
an
as
odd
well.
thing. It's like the bringing together of the horns and the halo thing. I think he's definitely
Yeah,
pulling
I
those
thought,
biblical
and like
themes.
this 7 lines, so I feel like it's G, like God, I guess. But I didn't really understand it. I
For
still
me, the
don't
Born
understand it
Sinner
to this
artwork
day.
was always that chrome head leaning back with the
Well,
horn and the
that's
crown.
what I've
on
got.
top.
The chrome.
Oh,
the
there's
chrome
that
head
one.
with
That's the
yeah.
deluxe one. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's the only one I ever
Oh
saw.
yeah, it is the deluxe one. Yeah. I see
The
what you're
original
saying.
one is mad cryptic. Like I don't get that one.
Oh, okay. The only one I've ever seen is the gold
Same.
gold crown with the chrome head leaning back. That's all I've ever seen. So yeah, I mean, in this time, clearly Cole's perfecting his ability to make albums. I think the first album, especially in the song that Theo just played, we get a sense of that J. Cole was under pressure from Jay-Z and the label to have hit songs. And so that's why the Sideline Story sounds how it sounds. And it doesn't sound bad. Like we skipped over a few tracks on there that I think are amazing on the Sideline Story. Nobody's
Yep.
Perfect. That missing
Yeah, I
feature
love
on the
that.
first album.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Made the whole album for
One
me
of my favorite
personally.
songs.
But Born Sinner is definitely more of an attempt for Cole to kind of make his own album his way. And I think it comes off way better. Like Born Sinner is just a much better project.
He was just like to Jay-Z, trust me, and it paid off, in it.
Yeah. And at the time as well, if we're thinking correctly, I think they launched on the same week, Born Sinner and Yeezus. And Born Sinner actually outsold Yeezus, I think, if I'm correct on this one.
Well, he makes the line that I'm going to drop the same day as Kanye. It's on Forbidden Fruit, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So he definitely dropped the same day as Kanye.
I genuinely think the project sold more. I think the project sold more, which
Yeah.
pissed Kanye
Let's have a
off.
look.
Because obviously
There was 3 that dropped on that day. It was Kanye, it was Mac Miller, and it was J. Cole that all dropped on that same day.
See, the weird thing is, as much as I am a Mac Miller fan, and I definitely was listening to Mac Miller, the same time I discovered J. Cole, I did not care about Mac Miller's album. I don't know why. I don't have any proper explanation for why.
That's so funny you say that. I didn't check for that. Like when it's dropped, I checked for J. Cole's album, then I checked for oh no, that might be a lie. Maybe I checked for Yeezus first before J. Cole's album, but I didn't check for Mac Miller's either. It wasn't actually until the year after. Then I deep down, I was like, oh my god, this happens.
Back
Love it,
then
but
as well,
that's another story.
Back then, this is probably like 2013 time. So what would happen is someone would eventually go and buy the album on the release day. And so I knew Sean was going to go buy Yeezus, so I'd get Yeezus from him. I'd go copy it on my laptop. Someone else had bought Born Sinner, or maybe I bought it on iTunes. So I was already listening to Born Sinner anyways. I don't think I heard Yeezus until later that week. And if I'm honest, when I first heard Yeezus, I was like, oh, I get what this is, but no one else liked it. So all I ever heard was J. Cole anyways, because J. Cole had songs that you could actually play. No one was trying to vibe to like Blood on the Leaves and Black Skinhead. No one was trying to hear that at the time.
Yeezus sold 328,000 first week, Born Sinner 298,000. So it was like a 30,000 discrepancy.
That's very close then. That's big numbers as well.
Considering the stage Kanye's at versus where Cole's at. And obviously, you know, we could take out of the equation, you know, the whole promotion machine and pre-sales and whatever else might have been going on at that time. For J. Cole, this is a good thing to nearly, you know, outdo the biggest rapper at the time, or one of the biggest rappers. Yeah, go on.
So do you all think that Cole in this period sort of lived up to the hype created by the mixtapes?
Yes and no.
Yes, 100%.
100%.
You have to sort more than that.
I think almost. Almost.
That's why I said yes and no. But Kieran's,
I don't know.
Kieran and me are on the same wavelength, but Neil said yes 100%. I need more.
I think Born Sinner cemented it for me. If you were just talking Sideline, then maybe I might have to have a discussion of maybe not. But then when Born Sinner came out, he solidified it for me. At the time, he did. And I still look back.
For people in general, though.
No, I think for people in general. When I was at uni, people were loving J. Cole. Yeah, the hype was mad. I had like all sort of people that I did not expect to see J. Cole. J. Cole. They were like, they were. I was like,
it
what?
Was
you like J. Cole?
It was Power Trip.
Yeah.
Power Trip was like a big song. Big song.
Like, honestly, there was loads of people like J. Cole. I was shocked by them. They're saying that they knew J. Cole. I was like, what? I did not expect you to like J. Cole at all. But yeah.
Come on, Neil, jump in.
He
Let Neil jump in with his yes 100%. I got to hear what Neil said.
So just for clarification, Sean, what was the question? What did you say?
I'm asking, like, did these like first two albums from J. Cole live up to the hype that was created by the mixtapes? Like, did he sort of excel the sort of level he was at?
100%. You're talking about this rapper, North Carolina, first artist on Rock Nation by no other than himself, Jay-Z. He produced these amazing pieces of work on this, the mixtapes, right? Now, being a first artist, Jay-Z, Rock Nation, being a hip-hop artist, you have to produce an album like Sideline in terms of it has to have mass appeal. It's got to reach everyone, and it's also got to show hip-hop heads I've got the lyrical ability. And I think it was well balanced. It wasn't all the way like his mixtapes, but it was a good introduction for the masses to find out who this new artist is. And I think, like Sam said, and I think Theo said as well, when Born Sinner came now, I think it was the perfect time for him to bridge the gap between mainstream and his mixtape. And that's what Born Sinner is. Like power, and we forgot the features he did in that time with Sideline Story. He did features on big songs in that time. He did one with Beyonce. We like to party. Come on, went crazy.
Oh god!
That's part of the label machine, isn't it? Because obviously, if you're signed to Jay-Z's label, he's gonna put you. He's gonna put you in the right route. Didn't he do a song with Rihanna? Or am I thinking wrong now?
I'm not too sure. Rihanna. He did one with He did one with Miguel. All I Want Is You.
He did.
S&M remix. Yeah, he did. You know, that one slapped that uni as well. That one slapped. Yeah.
So that was the alley-oop for Power Trip. You see what I'm saying? Because their duo was crazy. God. He did another feature with Elvana, I think, another R&B. So he was showing that he can do the whole R&B and hip-hop collab amazingly. So on Born Sinner, having TLC, having Miguel again, all these other tracks, for me, Sideline Story was the alley-oop and Born Sinner was the dunk. Like, it was a perfect setup and assist for him to be like, boom, I'm here now. I'm selling crazy first week, doing numbers, and I'm competing with the seniors that have been here for how many years? Who out here is doing what I'm doing? Like
At
who
the time, nobody was.
like
Even as much as we can big
That's
up
not
Kendrick,
true.
Kendrick was not on the same
no
radar.
in terms of
level.
for his from where he was in how he came into the game. Who is doing what he's doing?
No one.
Any artist that's doing what he was doing, they're either senior artists
Yeah, 100%.
or different category.
Yeah. Well,
Like, who would you say,
I
Sean?
mean, we could try and avoid the fact that Drake had already dropped Take Care.
Okay, Drake. Yeah, Drake.
But-
Drake,
we'll put that
Drake is
aside.
Drake.
We'll put that aside.
Drake is a monster. I'm not taking away from Drake. I'm talking about just generally, like, you know, for example, coming out of the era, before the era, sorry, the big people running it with like Kanye, Jay-Z. You got your Wayne. You got Nelly,
Yeah.
Ludacris, 50 Cent.
But none of them
Like-
had done as what Cole had done to this point, which is 2 amazing mixtapes, 1 commercial album, and then
we
1
go.
very solid project.
It was just like a formula to just
by
to
Project
succeed.
4, Eminem's already fallen off. Jay-Z's not doing what he's already done. Kanye's already lost his way a bit. You know, it's very interesting to see that early on.
I wouldn't say that. I would say others had success as him, but I just feel like at that time, for his come up, he had a very good come up. And I think to answer your question, Sean, saying, has he lived up to the hype? Definitely. Like, there was no, for me, his trajectory is still doing this. It's not plateauing. It hasn't dropped. It's still kind of going higher and higher.
And this
shooting
album,
up.
And this
Born
last
Sinner
year,
has
I don't
3
know.
certified hits on it.
Yeah.
Power Trip, She Knows, and Forbidden Fruit. And obviously, for those that didn't get to hear the deluxe, Sparks Fly, or whatever it's called, Sparks Will Fly.
Oh, yeah, Sparks Fly.
Janae
Wow.
Aiko, yeah.
Yeah,
That's great.
Exactly. That's a great song. And Sean, you got to remember, like, mixtape, you're hungry. You ain't got shit. Like, you, like, as an artist, like, most artists, a lot of their come up stuff is great, but or their first project or two, because they ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? Like, they ain't really living that life. He's had a taste and had a taste, and now he's on his second project, like, after doing major features and having world success. I think this is a great next step. I think he lived up to the hype. Like, you got to remember, because when you're artist at that level, on that position, you have to cater to a lot. Do you know what I mean? You've got to do the mainstream thing, but also stay true to your artistry. And I feel like he's the perfect balance. I feel like this is more to what Cole needs and what he wanted, versus Sideline Story was kind of like he was kind of tossing up between, not tossing up, but he was kind of trying to appeal to Jay-Z's vision and the label's vision. Whereas I feel like after he was accepted by the masses, he was able to kind of do his own thing a bit more with this. So I think he did it. I think he delivered.
Can I say one thing though about Born Sinner? I like it, but I feel like it was always too long for me. And I like the era that follows because he learned how to be concise but still impactful.
But you got to remember as well, at that time, a song wasn't a song if it wasn't 3 minutes long. So you needed 3 verses, 2 hooks, and a re-hook and a refrain. So that's why it feels long, because it back then everything was long.
No, I feel like there was a lot of. I feel like there's 20 tracks on it though. No,
20
I'm not
tracks?
sure
No,
about
there's
that.
not 20 tracks. So I think it was 15,
like
wasn't
16?
it?
Yeah,
Without
15.
the deluxe.
Oh,
Was it
okay.
15 without? Oh no, 16 without the deluxe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
16,
It just felt long for me.
Now you're fair enough to say that. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, rolling it into Era 3, we do. Even though Sean said, did he live up to the hype? We do get to see the kind of what I would call the masterpiece that is J. Cole in the coming works and projects of the next era in Era 3, which is, you know, 2014 to 2017. This is where, for me, I actually stopped listening to J. Cole because of the way the singles for this album came out, but that's a conversation for a different day that I don't want to get into. But basically, we get what I would argue is one of the best J. Cole albums to ever exist, and arguably the best era for me of Cole since Era 1, which is Forest Hills Drive kind of time and all the resulting projects after that. So, Sean, if you can kind of take over from here, because we're in your era, talk about it. You've called this era B3. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, well, I'll quickly
because I didn't really say my piece on that era, so I'll sort of summarize how I feel, and I'm getting the impression this is going to be the case throughout. I feel very differently to you all about that previous era, and that's why this next era was, in my opinion, such a big turning point. So I initially, when it dropped, really liked Sideline Story, but also was very sort of green and sort of new to just like listening to a lot of hip hop music. As sort of 2012 progressed, I found myself going less and less back to that album because it just wasn't a great deal of substance to me. I enjoyed certain tracks on there, but as just a body of work, I felt it was a real mixed bag that wasn't really saying a great deal or doing much more, if not any more than what he was doing in his mixtapes. I felt even more so with Born Sinner. That didn't land with me at all, that album. And that's why the song that you picked, Theo, was one of my favorites, because he kind of addressed that. He addressed how I felt about his music at the time. He said there's a line in Let Nas Down about how he says something like, I sacrificed my art. And that's what he was doing in that period. And I'm not getting on him because it happens to a lot of artists. But if we can, I don't, no, it's only sort of natural to compare. But if you look at like other big artists of the sort of part that around, like, not around that sort of specific era, but look at like when Ye came onto the scene, College Dropout, Late Registration, amazing 1-2 punch. Lupe, Food and Liquor, The Call. It is possible to still make great bodies of work, but also appeal to the masses. We then saw it a year later with Kendrick and Good Kid, Mad City. So there was other stuff coming out. I was doing a lot of like, going back, doing the history, listening to stuff. So that album, and especially Born Sinner, just wasn't hitting for me so much. And I feel like he was a bit uncertain about his place and like what the kind of art that he wanted to make and this and that. So when we get to this era now, and I'll introduce my track first, and then we can flesh it out a bit more, because I've gone for something for me that really sort of epitomizes this period of his career rather than one of my favorite tracks. And it's a performance. It's his J. Cole's performance of Be Free on Letterman. I think it's a really good track to talk about this sort of change in J. Cole's career. Going back to these times, like I say, coming off of Born Sinner especially, I was a little bit like, right, where are we going, Cole? Like, what's the direction? And then he goes a little bit quiet for a year or so, and then suddenly you hear these you see these sort of clips online of him riding his bike around New York. He's then on the Breakfast Club and does this quite sort of in-depth, intimate interview, and then there's this performance as well. He's like stripped back in terms of his clothes, in terms of like just like him singing and the piano. It just felt like there was a real shift in his, particularly in his aesthetic, and it felt like he wanted to say more and do more with his art and take more risks as well. Like obviously the singing's not great in that track, but you could tell he was pouring his heart into it. And I think he spoke about being the most nervous he ever was in his career before he performed that. And that got me right back invested in Cole, to be honest. I know it wasn't a song that appeared on 2014 Forest Hills Drive, but I just felt like I don't know. It felt like for me he really found his lane and his voice in his era, in my opinion. Whereas the previous two albums, there was definitely sort of label intervention and pressure and what it culminated in me was quite safe music. It felt like here he was being more himself and taking some more risks, really.
And Forest Hills
yeah.
Drive did a lot for J. Cole's career. We can't, lie about that. Forest Hills Drive is where a lot of the bulk of his current fan base entered into J. Cole listenership.
100%.
And I wouldn't say
Because let's be real though, that's the album that follows Kendrick's Control verse. So people are watching this album to see what he drops.
Well, I mean, there's people that have heard Forest Hills Drive that probably never heard Control, but I think the content of Forest Hills Drive spoke to a wider audience in a much easier way with the way some of the topics were in some of the tracks. And it kind of feeds into what Sean was saying, as in J. Cole became a lot more, I wouldn't say like of the people, but that's the kind of gist of what I'm trying to say. J. Cole became a lot more real, relatable. He wasn't like the other rappers driving around in a big car with lots of diamonds on, all this kind of stuff. He was just a simple dude, just riding his bike around. Obviously, we're not dumb. We all know he's fucking rich as hell. But he became a lot more real. And I think he was kind of, for me in this era, he was kind of soul searching. And when someone's soul searching, it doesn't mean that like they're losing their way. It just means they're trying to find themselves.
he was certainly saying a lot in interviews and that. It wasn't always like, I don't think he went super, super deep with the lyrics, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, he was definitely, like, I think soul searching is quite a good word, but he seemed like he wanted to have, that he wanted there to be more to his art, more substance. And I think he achieved that somewhat. I mean, like going back over, I don't really return to these earlier albums that much, to be honest, these days, but I do prefer the music as a body of work. I prefer listening to the likes of like a 2014 or a For Your Eyes Only, just because they just feel like more concise, sort of consistent bodies of work, in my opinion. Even though some of the highs are really high on like the debut album and stuff.
The weird thing is, For Your Eyes got no playtime in my kind of rotation. The only song that really popped off for me was Neighbours.
Oh no, yeah, that was a standout.
Yeah,
track,
Neighbours is
Neighbours
a great
album,
track. Yeah, great storytelling. Yeah. I think I've always loved the title track. I know it's a long song, but I've just always it's incredible that one. And I think that the other thing that was it's kind of a juxtaposition, because it was like Cole had almost isolated himself a little bit. Remember, there were no features on the albums. Sometimes like no singles leading up to the project, just kind of, especially what's it called? For Your Eyes Only. It seemed to just come out of nowhere, really. But at the same time, I swear his like numbers went up. He was selling more records than ever.
Yeah,
I feel like. Maybe not singles, but like as just with albums, first week sales and things like that. So he's sort of stepped away in a sense, but got bigger. But then at the same time, this is the same era where we get like False Prophets, which was still an incredibly important song and was kind of ahead of the curve in terms of his opinion of a certain someone. Everybody Dies as well, sort of kind of peacocking and calling out the younger generation and just the industry in general, really.
False Prophets was good though, because I feel like it showed an amazing aspect of his personality, which was he can call things out, but also reflect the lens on himself as well. Most people don't really do that.
Yeah, and also something that Cole, I feel like, has always done well throughout his career, but doesn't do as much these days, but definitely did in the earlier days, was he's really good at like concept tracks. Like you think about things like whether it's a Lights Please or a Lost Ones to stuff like this, these sort of standalone like bottleneck tracks where it's like there's a real sort of theme or a concept and he sticks with it. And False Prophets is right up there as one of his best. And then we also started to see a bit of work with the rest of Dreamville around this period as well. I think you got the first Dreamville, Revenge of the Dreamers mixtape too.
Yeah,
I want to say this because I feel like it's a fair point to make. I've never really listened to much of the Dreamville roster. Like I've never found them remotely appealing. I know, has he got Earth Gang? Is that part of his thing?
Yeah, Earth Gang. Yeah. See, I rate
it kind of
Earth
came
Gang.
Later on.
Is that not around this time? Is that not?
But Jid's in.
No, but Jid's the guy. Jid's the guy, man. We've got to be rating Jid, man.
Jid kind of came along a bit after this period, like maybe like a year or two after he signed. But yeah,
is it Bass or Bars? I never know how you pronounce this guy's name.
Yeah, Bass.
Yeah, but yeah, no, he's solid, man.
Omen.
Yeah.
There's a few others. Is it Cos? I think is another one.
Cos is the thing. Look, we're all struggling to name them. If I said to you,
actually a track on that.
Name Young Money people, name some good music people. You're gonna rattle off.
Sam, you're not wrong in some ways. I'll say it's
okay.
true.
I didn't know Jid was part of them. I thought Jid was just like close with J. Cole, but still, I think this is
Jid was like the next sort of era of signing. Jid's probably the biggest one that he signed. But was kind of like just after this period. One song I will say from that first mixtape, one of my favourite J. Cole songs ever is Folgers Crystals. That song, I don't know if anyone here's heard it or like.
It's a good one.
No one's heard. Oh,
I have, and I'm saying yes.
Folgers Crystals is the one, but yeah. So this era for me was like, in hindsight, like I said, I don't really go back to a lot of the music, and like something like 2014, for instance. I feel it was quite a top-heavy album. I really like the first half. It loses me a bit in the second half.
If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have listened to this project because you would like listen to these two tracks, "Tale of Two Cities" and Fire Squad or something like that.
Cities, man.
And I was oh, okay, yeah, they're good songs, but like the rest of the album for me is just not it. Like this is the era.
I think 03 had a lesson.
I don't get
January 28th. No, come on, no, I'm not having this.
Even like
man.
the way it
What are we
resolves
talking
with,
about?
The way it resolves with
talking
Love
about? You're
Yours
telling
as
me-
well, man.
No, come on.
Sean is the one that made
Love
me listen
Yours
to
is-
this album.
Nah,
Like, Sean
Sam,
had
we
to
can't be
basically
having
fight
that,
me for the
man.
orcs to
I'm
play this
sorry.
album.
Zero
That is
zero
nuts.
skips.
This is
I was not
absolutely
trying to hear
outrageous. You're telling me January 28th, 03 Adolescence, you're
Yeah.
not deep in how
Wow,
deep these
that
songs
one.
are.
No, I
Zero
weren't
That
feeling
song
it.
is
Yeah, the
fire.
Weren't feeling it.
First half is very strong, man. Very.
I played this
God,
every day
man.
for I think at least 6 months. At least. Like every day to work.
Something in
And
it
I-
didn't resonate with me, and that's just music in general, bro. Like,
Now, Sam, I hear you. In the moment, it didn't resonate with me. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
it grew on
see,
me.
I had that moment as well. I had that same moment. I agree with all of you right at the time, because I remember when I was working for the NHS at that point. I wasn't resonating with this album. It just wasn't sitting with me. Then all of a sudden, it was almost like an epiphany or something. Something just clicked, and then I couldn't stop playing it. And I think this album is just absolutely phenomenal. And I kind of agree. I agree with Neil, actually. There is no skips for me on this album. The songs I didn't like back then, no, I think they have their place on this album. I think it's solid.
I think for me, at the time, this album was competing with To Pimp a Butterfly, and I didn't like either of them too much. And I gravitated more towards To Pimp a Butterfly because I could listen to that. But some of the content of this was a bit too much for me. It was a bit.
No, well, I know
personal.
what your thoughts are about Wet Dreams, so
I'm not even trying to
Wet
touch
Dreams
on
was
that.
so fun. It was the funnest song
He's just
ever.
having
man.
fun, yeah.
It was so fun.
It's not
It's
fun to
okay.
me, man.
I love the beat on that song.
It's
as well.
amazing.
I couldn't
So
tell you the
fun.
beat if I tried. I've listened to that song about 3 times, and that was it. And 2 of those times was forced by Sean. I think we were in the McDonald's car park, and Sean played me the beginning to end of this album once, and then it's like, no, listen to these 3 tracks. So then he played, I think, Wet Dreams, A Tale of Two Cities, and Fire Squad, and I was like, all right, that's enough now. And then,
Nah, man. There's so many.
then
No
I
role
feel like-
models.
I thought it was 03 Adolescence that I was big on, because to me that's still one of.
It could have been those 3 songs, 03 Adolescence, Fire Squad. I remember they came after each other, is what you were trying to tell me. Like, just let it play, let it play.
The thing, but you know what? From a personal perspective, though, like not to, I do want to try and keep it as like broad as possible. But like personally, I've always felt like it's just been bad timing with Cole for me. Because like I said, initially I did like Sideline Story, but then things that followed, and by the time we got to Good Kid, Mad City, I was just like, they're just, it's chalk and cheese. Like they're just different levels. And then similarly with this, it was like I felt like Cole had gone on the upward trajectory again, and then we got to Pimp a Butterfly. And even, do you know what, I'm going to be super real with you, I played If You're Reading This It's Too Late way more than 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
If You're Reading This was crazy.
I'm going to be honest, I was loving
Yeah,
that
was a
project.
crazy
Yeah,
album.
that
It
album was crazy. though,
Yeah, and it was just a shame that like it seemed to like fall just before the like, particularly with like To Pimp a Butterfly, these
It
incredible
wasn't
bodies
weak
of work.
though. I don't think we can
I'll be
call it
honest.
weak.
No,
From my
It was
perspective,
strong.
it's not
don't get me
weak,
wrong. Like,
man.
I'm not
For
saying,
where I was
I'm
at,
not saying,
calling it weak, man. Anyone calling it
I'm not
weak,
calling
I'm
it week.
swinging.
I'm being
What
honest.
are we on about?
For where I was at in
I'm not
life,
having that.
J. Cole was not making music that was going with my lifestyle. I was having a good time, and this album, 2014 Forest Hills Drive, was not a good time. It was.
I think
very-
our lives just deviated a bit, innit? It was
Yeah.
it was relatable earlier, and it started deviating.
Well, boy, but yeah.
But yeah, don't get me wrong though. Like I'm not saying I don't think any like the sort of 4 albums we've covered up until this point, they're not bad albums at all. I just felt like there was a sort of standard and a hype created by the mixtapes, and he hadn't quite reached that yet in terms of putting together a body of work. And I felt like this era was a bit more true to him and was kind of a step in the sort of upward direction, but still wasn't quite there for me, especially in hindsight. Like I say, I don't listen to these bodies of work all the way through anymore.
I wish I had the same experience what Neil had, where right now, project for project, it's still going up for him. Like, this is amazing. This is getting better. This is getting better. I wish I had that experience, and I feel like I missed something by not having that experience. But I've just got to keep it true to myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but for me, I think it's a bit different because I've kind of came into seeing J. Cole not right at the start, and I've kind of been in and out, and I've only gone through his piece of work, gone through his piece of work with a comb for this podcast. But before this, I haven't listened to half of what I've listened to, so I think it's a bit different for me. But just looking at it retrospectively, so far everything is just keeps building in a progressive way. Like, there's no drop off. There's nothing. There's nothing for me to criticize on the projects that he's done so far. There's things that I don't like or don't feel in as much. However, what he's done so far. This for me is a peak. I wouldn't say his highest, but this is a peak for me right now.
Right.
This is when it.
See, I've got-
This is when it's like,
up.
oh shit, this man right here.
So
Okay.
to ask a question that's on the run through, how this is for everyone to answer as well. How do we think this music has aged? Personally, I don't think it's sounding bad or dated or anything. Some of these songs still play to this day, but yeah, how do you guys think it's aged?
Absolutely amazing. What this album or the whole all of his songs?
The songs from
until-
this era, the albums from this era. So Full Your
2014
Eyes,
Forest Hills Drive, I think is aged well. I think that's aged well. To be honest, I went back to that and that's still sounding clean and crisp to me. I loved it. I wasn't feeling like, oh, this sounds dated or anything. I loved it. Maybe for Your Eyes Only, because that's such a personal album, and now I'm sounding like that flipping skit every single time. But I don't. But it's just, I remember at the time, I don't know. It's not a bad album, but I can't ever see myself returning to that album every single time. It's just it's a project that J. Cole did, and I respect what he did with it, and it was personal, and it was what he needed to do with that. But in terms of aging, I find myself I'd never go back to it. I did it for the podcast, and yeah, I enjoyed some of the songs, and I put myself back to the time that I was listening to it. Would I ever go back to it? No. So I'm not sure on that one. But 2014 Forest Hills Drive, no, I think that's aged well.
All right, sure. We'll save you
I
till
think
last.
it's, like-
We'll save you till last. We've got to revive Kieran here. Kieran, how's the music for this era aged?
Do you know, I feel like J. Cole, he worked out a formula that just works for him, and he repeated it for 3 albums. I don't mean that like it wasn't original though, but you know, like he just was like, okay, cool, like doing 10 tracks, doing no features. This is something I can just repeat and repeat and repeat, and it will just work. The fans are eating it up. It became a thing, didn't it? By what was it, For Your Eyes Only, where it was like, oh, he did no features again. This is his thing now, and it's like it just became something we expect, and I like it. I like this era, but I didn't feel like there was a rise in this era. I felt like he was just doing 2014, For Your Eyes, KOD. I wouldn't even like put them one above the other, to be honest. You can try and say it, like I feel like we say 2014 is his classic, but I don't know, man. Apparently, I'm not sure.
Do you not
This is
like?
like-
You don't like apparently.
I like elements of it, but like the string in that sounds kind of cheap, no?
Okay. Sure. Wrap up your era quite nicely, and then hand it over to Kieran to continue his rant.
So yeah, the way I put it is like I think, you know, at the time for sure, particularly like in the moment, I felt like, oh, we're back. Like for me as a Cole fan, I was like, okay, we're back on the upward trajectory. But like I say, because of some other projects that came not long after that, it again didn't have a particularly long shelf life for me. And then like going back to it retrospectively, look, it's not dated where I go, oh my god, this sounds old, or like he's saying super like regressive shit that doesn't fly today. It's not like that, but at the same time, it's not. I'm not going to sit here and say it was like groundbreaking or particular, like super original or anything like that. It definitely felt more authentic to him, and it seemed like he was more comfortable than he was in the previous couple of albums. But it's not groundbreaking music to me. It's not like and I'm with Kieran where I'm like, I look back now, especially where we're at with, you know, his career to date, and 2014 Forest Hills Drive isn't quite the sort of the classic or the magnum opus, as the critics like to say, of his career, in my opinion. So I got mixed feelings. Yeah.
Hey, that's crazy.
It's respectable though. The consistency is respectable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yo, this is the most sold album. He had his anniversary, sold out Madison Square Garden. It aged really well for me. I come back to it at least once a week or twice, or once every 2 weeks. Yeah. I'll tell you why.
Sorry.
I tell you why. The songs that come up will be Neighbours,
Okay.
Change.
Change is good.
Change is good.
Come on, that's like
No, I'm with you.
them grey days, innit? Them days that like you need some.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
It's depressing as fuck, innit?
Say a few more. Say a few more, man.
The winter is just like, you know what I'm saying. So that is Deja Vu, because it's that sample.
Yeah.
January 28th. If you want to start rapping some shit like Adolescence, Get Off My Dick, I'm feeling kind of hype.
It's
No-
a gas in it.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
That
if
is
you're hype,
you know.
like no role models, like, and I love yours is more like if you're just on your kind of piece, kind of like don't let
That's a good song. I'll be honest. That's the one we
don't
go.
let
Ain't no
people
things
try and
better
trick you out
life
your
is
spot.
better than yours.
Yeah,
Is that
man,
one?
like, your
Yeah,
life
yeah,
is
yeah.
your
That's
life,
a good
man.
vibe. I can
You're
have
just trying to think right again.
Yeah, like
yeah,
everyone's
it's
comparing
no,
each
I hear
other
that,
and
I
da
hear
da da da.
It's
If you're in my
eternal
shoes,
music that-
it's
This
like,
is why we
yo,
brought Neil on the podcast, so we don't start tripping.
like this is what I'm just
I
like,
know,
yo,
you
this
had to
is
remind us.
crazy. Like,
there's powerful music on that album for sure.
like there's some really powerful songs, and like to this, if we was in a stadium right now and he played those songs,
I wouldn't be in that
Oh, it's a
stadium for
gas.
starters.
come on, like
Oh,
the way you
my
be
God,
feeling,
What we did? No, yeah,
mean,
like you
like-
said. But for me, January
But this is the thing,
28th, man. That song is a gas. I love when you just want to start rapping.
Yeah.
That is
Has everyone
just
seen J. Cole
unbelievable.
live? Just to double
I
check.
haven't.
Okay.
No, I haven't. I
Oh.
flopped the set where I know. I had the chance in Southampton and I missed out when I was at uni.
Okay.
And I haven't had that
Because I
opportunity
want to
since.
be honest, J. Cole is actually a decent live performer, but he's not the best, if that makes sense. So when you say if we're in a
he
stadium,
gets shouty, but the passion's there in it.
yeah,
You
he
feel the
doesn't
passion.
perform, but he's got good energy. And
Oh, yeah.
that's one of my downsides, especially now as an adult. Like if I'm spending my money to go see somebody, they've got to give me something back. You know what I mean? Give me a
Right.
performance. So
Yeah.
when you said if we're in a stadium, I don't think I'd be in that stadium because J. Cole is not. He's not. a
He's good for
performer.
intimate though.
I'd-
I would love an intimate one.
I don't believe that 1 second, Sam. If J. Cole put out tickets, you will buy them tickets.
No, I wouldn't. I genuinely wouldn't. I passed
Okay.
up on the other one, the last
What
tour that
other
Sean
one?
went on. I passed up on those
When was that?
ages ago,
Exactly.
like 10 years ago.
Exactly. I'm talking about to this day. If we release tickets,
Nah.
you're going.
No.
Leave the ego at the door. Leave the ego right there.
No.
You
I'm
know
being serious. I'm being
you
serious.
will get it.
My whole vibe to concerts has changed, yeah, because as I've got older, I've become more difficult. I've seen all the goats, apart from someone that we won't name. I've seen everybody. I'm done. The only reason I go to concerts is so my little sisters can have a good time. I don't care for it. The best
Your
way
sisters
for me-
will be there having a good time, and you'll be there chaperoning.
They don't listen
Simple.
to J. Cole. The young
chaperone.
generation
I'm done,
don't listen to J. Cole, yeah. And I tell you why they don't listen to J. Cole.
What?
Because J. Cole doesn't try hit their generation. Apart from with tracks that we might get to later on.
Okay.
He doesn't get there. But let's move forward into a more positive place where I think everybody can agree that in this era we see some of the best J. Cole we've seen ever. Forget about all the projects and the ups and downs and the discussion we just had just there. Era 4, which Sean has aptly named King of Features. Kieran, take it from here because this is your era, but talk to us about the King of
man.
Features era.
This might actually be my favorite J. Cole era, you know, especially in like hindsight, because living in it is surreal. He's basically never really done features that much, especially with the current artists. It was just non-stop. It was like you'd expect a new album from a big artist to have a J. Cole feature on it at this point. And I felt like just listing a few of them to start, to be honest.
Can I
also feel like
quickly
my
jump in
energy's
just before
low.
you get your list going?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
At this point, I'm actually out of J. Cole listenership, as in I'm not trying to check for J. Cole, but he did a track with Ari Lennox called Shea Butter Baby, and that brought me
Amazing.
back.
Oh God,
That brought me
song
back.
is
And this is
incredible.
2019, but it brought me back.
Yeah.
So go on, carry on
But
with
this
yours.
is the best marketing plan ever because it's like he collabed with like every type of artist in that scene and extended scenes because it's like you have to have saw a feature from J. Cole if you listen to R&B, pop, hip hop, rap music in general, underground, mainstream. And he was experimenting. What's so amazing is I think like it was the best thing for him to do because, like I said, I felt like he was repeating a formula for 3 albums, and it's like you have to shift somehow. You have to like learn the new techniques. And that quote I gave, I can't even remember the track, but it's really like this is that moment where he's trying to see how can he relate to the younger generation or like this new wave that's coming through still. Obviously,
you mentioned
yeah. go on.
you mentioned that formula. I know because you're talking about. We didn't really talk about KOD because it kind of like I feel like it kind of hovers over both. But I don't understand what you mean by the formula with like the no features and that. But I feel like the difference with KOD was he really like leaned into a concept and it kind of like fit in with this kind of. I felt like part of the feature run was to kind of like keep up and like collaborate with the newer generations and whatnot. And KOD was kind of like the introduction. To that, in
KOD
my
was a good
opinion.
album. I don't recall disliking it. I liked quite a lot of it, and arguably it's got one of my favorite J. Cole songs on it ever, which is Kevin's Heart, which is a weird.
That's an amazing one. Yeah, I love
It's
that
a
one.
weird concept that he spoke about someone else's affair, but
It's so strange, but it works.
he globalized it in the fact that he just kind of made it like about cheating as a concept and all that kind of stuff. And I love that song so much. But yeah, you're right, Sean. KOD. We shouldn't gloss over KOD, but I think
not.
we're trying.
That's
to
not in
explain
this era though.
It
right?
is. It is. Yeah.
It
Came out
is,
2018.
yeah.
Oh, I swear, I didn't even realize. I just thought this was all features. I got confused.
No,
it's true that this is a good album to introduce that era, especially because it's got the intro to the Fall Off as the final track, and it addresses the younger generation. And to be honest, the whole album concept addresses as well.
Yeah, not everything lands. Like the Kill Edward thing was.
I didn't understand.
That's one of his
Yeah, I
biggest
didn't
misses.
understand.
Yeah.
I didn't understand any of
And that song, Photograph. That's a weird song, man.
Was this the album that you could play backwards and forwards? Was it that? Or was it
Is
not?
Photograph the third song? Is that the third song?
That incel anthem.
Oh yeah,
type shit. Yeah. That's not. We're talking about aging. Yeah, I gloss over that one. I'll skip that one. Sorry, but yeah, KOD is for me, it's one of his most interesting albums because he was like really trying to like lean into a concept and a theme and that. But sorry, Kieran, you continue.
It's cool. I think actually some of us think it was the previous era as well because I swear some of us are talking about it.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like it kind of hovers both because it's that formula of doing his own thing, but then it was like also trying something new and
I did like. I liked the videos for that album as well. Actually, think about it now. He was just trying to experiment and go a bit crazy, wasn't he? And it worked quite well. I'm gonna list some features because the ones that I didn't pick, and I feel like they're actually there's so many features. It's crazy. Does anyone know the number?
I don't know the number, but I have a very long list of features.
Well, yeah, I've got a list of features as well. So, but
there's
I think
a lot. Let's just start with a lot like that. I feel like that one's kind of like the trophy of this era because he won the Grammy for it as well. But I don't think it was the best one. But I think
it was the biggest one though. That song was pumping.
It was big because 21 Savage was popping at that time, and I think Cole he brought a new way to write that kind of reminds us of what he's been doing anyway. But it was just with that pure clarity of like, let me just talk about my everyday life and
actually no, to tell a lie, the biggest song from that year was the London, especially over here. That song,
I was about to say, the London was the one that crossed over with the young.
Even though when you were out, you would never hear J. Cole's verse because they would mix it straight in to the Young Thug bit. So they would skip his verse because it's the first verse and just play the Young Thug bit with the Travis Scott hook and then mix out of it. But yeah, the London was a big track for J. Cole in this era.
Out of Sight, Out of Mind by J-Rock. I love that one as well. Rhapsody, Sojourner, that one's crazy. Like that one's so good. When it gets to Rhapsody's verse, it's just like, oh, this is like it's a good verse from her as well. But it's just like, oh, the energies was dropped because J. Cole went crazy on that one. Royce the 5'9" Boblo Boat. That one is amazing. I was waiting for that, man. That was potentially going to be my pick, but yeah,
unbelievable.
The storytelling on that is
it's crazy.
He was entering his goat level there, where it was like, okay, like because Royce was spitting, so.
That's the thing. He started off hard, but then J. Cole just like, I'm sorry, he just painted a picture. That feature is one of my favorite of all time. I love that feature. Brilliant.
The other one I was going to pick maybe was Sacrifices by Dreamville. Earth Gang, Smino, Saba. I just think that song is just amazing. Really like that's quite a tear-jerking one. I think he went deep on that. The one I picked, I feel like just the energy is low right now, so I picked Off These by Jid and J. Cole because I just think like the technical ability here, he just wanted to show like I can spit like at the top level that you think MCing requires.
Oh, fair enough. Let me get it up.
It's quite a wacky track, I can't lie, but
it's good though. That energy is high.
That is absolutely crazy. That is absolutely crazy. The level of rapping from both of them is absolutely crazy. Yeah.
It's one of them ones that's all like the way Jid is like rapping and switching up. You're like, how can anyone like? there's barely any rappers that could follow up from that verse. Really
That's
and
the
truly.
hard thing, right? Because obviously you can hear what they're doing. They're following the way the beat's kind of doing that. Dun, 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 dun. But when they hit that double time flow, I'm sorry, the clarity on that, I only think
Yeah.
UK rappers can rap like that consistently. You don't hear American rappers rapping that fast with that much clarity without skipping words and all this kind of stuff. It was high level technical rap, almost like what Eminem is lauded for all the time. Like, oh, no one does it like M. Like the proof's right there. Jid and fucking J. Cole did it with ease.
And that clarity that Cole had as well. The Cole song was mad.
Yeah, and the bars, and the thing is, when people start spitting that fast, they always start talking shit. If you listen to what J. Cole's saying, he's still talking that stuff, bro. He's talking about Malcolm X at the window with the rifle, all this kind of stuff. Crazy.
Yeah, that was a great pick, man. Great pick.
Kieran, why did you pick that? Obviously, for
I
the
felt like that, honestly, like I had a few picks out of there's so many features in there, but I felt like the energy was a bit low after listening to B3, so I wanted to give them an ampy opposite. But you know, I was gonna do the opposite and actually pick Middle Child for this era because
that
I felt
song
like
was
that
amazing.
that song is so good, and I think it really defines this era because he's skirting between he's like an older head, like in that J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick era. He's also this younger person now, like trying to like, I don't know, like he's matching them as well. Like what he's doing on the London and off these, it works.
In my preparation for this episode, I did listen to Middle Child quite a lot because I feel like there's some stuff to unpack there where I think he addressed the beef that we had last year in that track. I can't quote the lines exactly.
Shall we listen to it? I wanted to pick that one too, you know. I can't lie.
We can listen to Middle Child, sure, but all I want to say is like try listen out for the bars that sound like he's addressing the beef because it feels like to me he addressed the beef quite clearly in Middle Child. And it kind of tells you why he did what he did in the beef where he didn't participate. Much like a Middle Child, he felt kind of like, oh, no one's really watching what I'm doing anyways, if that makes sense.
Because of Drake and Kendrick. So, it's a double meaning.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way.
I thought that's the whole point.
No. I thought it was a generational.
Can you see what I'm saying with that track? How he kind of addresses being part of what was being deemed at that time as the old school, but also definitely being able to compete with the best of them. Like that little scene in the video where he's like, this could be you, your favorite rapper, ask me for a feature. He's like, I've got the whole game on lock here. It's like, your favorite rapper, he's dead on my wall. You know, the people asking me for a feature, they could never do better than me. Your favorite, your current trending artist right now, I could wash them. But he's never been bothered. I think that's the big problem here. And like I said earlier, much with the Middle Child kind of metaphor, no one ever looks at what the Middle Child's doing. They're always kind of forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he shows in this one, it's like he's making like a Drake-esque hit, you could say. But it's so conscious as well. Like he's rapping every single bar's not
even down to the smaller details in the video where how often do you see someone ragging around a Bentley Bentayga like that in a muddy field and it's not even him driving it, it's his friend driving it, and I don't even know what rapper that was. He's probably one of the Dreamville artists, but his friend's driving it, his friend's in the back and he's in the seat, like the passenger seat, just bored. Like most rap videos, the car's clean as hell, you know, they're cruising down the street, he's just ragging around a very, very, very expensive prestigious car that you arguably can't even buy. Actually, you can't buy a new Bentley. Like
he was flexing in it, man. The Balenciaga outfit.
It's a different level of flex. Yeah, I mean, even like there's bites to what Tyler's done his most recent album with it's called HBCU type band, which is like a marching band. He had that theme going on in here. You know, Tyler's done quite well off that this year with or last year with Sticky. It just proves that, in my eyes, I don't know what's going on with J. Cole right now, but in this era, J. Cole was making some big statements with all these features and tracks he was dropping.
This track was supposed to be on the Fall Off as well. I was gassed for the Fall Off when this one dropped. I was like, oh man, this album's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it ended up on Revenge of the Dreamers 3, didn't it?
I
didn't know it came out on the project. I thought
I was pissed about that.
Because that's what I like. That was something else I liked about this era, was how he kind of really put on his crew, but also brought together a lot of rappers from different scenes and with that body of work. And he kind of speaks about that on this track, where he talks about sharing the wealth and all that. But I think it was good time in this track because what is it, 2019? So we're like Kendrick last dropped. I know there was
Last project was Damn.
Black Panther soundtrack, but Damn was 2017. Drake's previous one, Scorpion, was 2018. So there was a bit
The
of
scene was hot. The scene's real hot.
Yes, and I mean, like in terms of his pit, like we're talking big three. It was, Kendrick had been quiet a couple years. Drake had just come off of Scorpion and the whole beef with Ye and Pusha T and all that. So it was like quite good timing to reflect and make noise. Because I think the only project Drake dropped that year was that Care Package, where it was just all like old tracks and stuff.
Don't sleep on the Care Package.
The floor was open for Cole to say these things. So it was good timing. But like listening to it now, 5-6 years on, some of those bars don't hit the same.
You don't think so? Because you feel like he bowed out of the beef and it's kind of taking the sting out of it.
Oh no, not this again, man.
Well, I'm not even trying to hate. It's just like it's just facts. it don't hit the same.
Well, okay. If we're going to talk about 2019 like that,
checking a list.
you're not gonna skip over the fact that 2020 he dropped 2 songs that you really liked: the Climb Back and it's not Simba on Ice, Lion King on Ice.
I like that song. I like that song.
Oh, yeah,
I
he dropped them.
love that
Yeah.
song.
I don't know if those were
Yeah.
pandemic
TBC
drops or if they were just 2020 drops.
They were 2020. You're right.
Yeah,
They were amazing.
2020 was another mix year though, because there was the whole no name shit as
there
well,
was that,
which was a weird.
I
move,
liked
but,
that track that where he was dissing her. To be honest, I thought it was interesting.
That made no sense to me, and I tried
Snow on the
to
Buff.
not let that enter my space because it just wasn't making any sense to me. It felt overly aggressive for a man that we now know is not.
It was like, why are you bringing someone down? Like that does good for the world.
You brought more shine to her situation than there was on it before. Do you know what I mean? Like it didn't make no sense. But yeah, all right. We're heading.
But from what I'm gathered, it wasn't a direct shot at her though, like that.
It was very direct.
I mean, like the beef was clear. I know what you mean that the bars were a bit indirect, but the beef was clear.
Yeah.
This is the
And we
response.
also,
to that.
I feel
this
like
is
not
for
enough
you. It's
people
one of
talk
those
about
if
how
the shoe
No
fits.
Name's response was on a Madlib beat as well, which is crazy to me. I can't like that was.
Oh yeah, that was a
rap.
hard tune.
Yeah, it was a hard tune.
Waste of a good beat, if you ask me, man. The
What's
waste
that?
of a good beat.
God.
Where it was just a weird. It just felt like it was a weird. I wouldn't even call it. It wasn't a beef. It was just a weird, like, I don't know, tension at a time where I guess unity was needed more than anything, right? But 2020 was a pretty heavy year, but yeah, just a weird month. But yeah, as for the other 2 tracks, yeah, I mean, like the Climb Back, is that what it's called? The Climb Back?
Climb Back and
amazing.
Yes,
Amazing.
Yeah, but the Climb Back goes on to the next album, doesn't it? Whereas
Yeah,
the
it does,
line,
Too
whereas what was the other song? I always forget the name of it because I love that song.
Oh, Lion
It's a
King on
Simba.
Ice?
Yeah, Lion King on Ice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lion King on
which,
Ice?
but they were meant to be the first 2 tracks of the Fall Off, is what he came out and said when he dropped those 2 tracks.
Why does he
This
keep
guy-
doing this, man? He was
Yeah, I
literally
know.
teasing
Whereas
it.
obviously it doesn't happen. Yeah, exactly.
Listen, like I checked the year. He teased the fall of, was it like 2016 or something? It's been 9 years.
Is this around the time when the
Oh,
piece of
heck.
paper came out, or is this not around that time?
Yes. So this is what I wanted to get to. Is like the kind of the question I really wanted to ask you all was like, why do we think he was hopping on so many tracks? Like, why did he go from like almost this isolationist standpoint of like, I just make, I do everything on the album and that's kind of all I do, rather than adding the odd feature here and there, to like I'm hopping on every track, whether it's with the new guys or like we didn't mention the Gangstar record as well. He was
That
on
was
the
amazing. I
Gangstar
forgot
track.
about that.
as
Yeah,
Every
Yeah.
rapper is a
What Diamonds
hustler.
Are Forever?
What-
I
why
was
was he
listening
doing
to that
it?
the other day. That song is fire, man.
Every
wanted to
rapper is
relate
a
to
hustler,
people.
man. And so that was part of J. Cole's hustle. He's like, I'm trying to build my fan base. I need to
Yeah.
go to different audiences and pinch some people from there. If I can pinch 100,000 people from there, 1 million people from there, some of the old school heads from back here, I can go to level, the next level. I'm not
it
saying
works
it's
though.
numbered or anything like that. But yeah.
He was like he's 100% top 3 after this run of features.
Well,
I'm glad you said that though, Sam, because that's what I think, is that I feel like the feature run thing was very, very calculated in that we got that list, that checklist, and it started off with ticking off like what was it, the Revenge of the Dreamers 3 features, and then you had the off season It's a Boy,
It's a boy.
and the Fall Off. I feel like it was very intentional. 'Cause, like, let's face it, I think that Cole has put an immense amount of pressure on this final album. I know we're going to get to it at some point. And I think that the features were very necessary to, like you say, sort of not even just like branch out to different audiences, but also to just hone the craft. And that's why I think that that's why the off season just made so much sense as a project to me. It was like it felt very much like he was in practice mode, but like, you know, putting in that extra work at a time where a lot of people have their down period. Do you get what I'm saying? It was like
he changed the approach as well on the off season, right? Like this is where I mean, like the formula changed. It was he came different.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't he also?
the features were almost like
sorry to cut you off. Wasn't he also pursuing his basketball career as well?
Yeah, so there was an element of that.
He was.
That was also part of the promo
because
run, and he was kind of nice.
Aye,
He was kind of nice in the clips I saw. I didn't watch a whole game, but he was kind of nice when he was playing basketball for a 30-year-old man.
We were following him though, Sam. Remember when he made the
a little
thing?
bit.
Yeah,
I
know.
can't
But then
watch
he was
live
trying
sports, man. But yeah,
I think the way he's doing this, I think he had the fall off the actual album, the gist of it, or like the main concept of it, like already like down pat. He had quite a few songs on there, but I think he's just being reactive. I think he's doing what you're saying, Sean and Sam. I think he's doing his features and he's seeing the politics or like how the game's moving, and then he's reacting to seeing how things happen in real time. So then he's releasing singles that was meant to be on the album, or he's reacting to this or doing that. So it's taken away from him dropping the actual album. I think he's doing what Kendrick did with GNX and his songs last year. Kendrick releasing GNX and those features was all kind of just, he was reacting off what the masses thought of his feature with you know what I mean? I don't think he was meant to release GNX when he released it.
I think the off season came at the perfect time though, because it clearly was already ready. Because the month before that, we had the Lemon Pepper called Lemon Pepper's Freestyle with Drake, and for me, that was like the peak of listening to rap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The beat was hitting right, the
100.
verses were hitting right, everybody was doing something at their highest level. And then J. Cole dropped this album, and we have a recorded, we have an episode where we actually reviewed the off season. If you want to hear Ultimate Gas, the off season is for me one of the best J. Cole albums. Out of all we've spoken about this last episode, the off season.
It's my favorite J. Cole album. I can't lie, man. This is
one.
like where the mixtape Cole came back, I think, because he was just experimenting again and having fun. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's back.
And unlike the other projects,
for me it was like mixtape energy.
Yes.
But like for me it was like everything that happened in between that period came together.
Exactly.
For me.
Right.
The auto-tune voice was like actually hitting hard.
everything was
For instance,
perfected. Even the stories that were emotional, I was like, yeah, I can see this. I can feel this. It felt vivid. Like, let go my hand. You know, I haven't been through that season of my life yet.
No, closest
Yeah.
actually.
Closest.
You know, every time I keep listening to that song is just it is. It just gives me some.
Sorry, Sam, I cut you off.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm being honest here that I think we're into currently in era 5, which is 2021 till present day. We're actually experiencing peak Cole, and I don't remember who said that he reached a peak in era 3 or something like that. But for me, it's quite clear that as much as I didn't like era 3 and I didn't really care for era 4 too much, era 5 you have to listen to J. Cole, man. Like if you're not listening to J. Cole, you're missing out on one of the best rappers out right now, and arguably one of the best rappers to have ever existed.
Yeah, it was me that mentioned the peak. I said that was one of his peaks. I'm not saying that it was his peak of his career, but a peak. I think he had a bit of a up and down and plateau then up moment, and I think you're right. I think this is definitely another peak for me. For him,
artistically, I think for sure. Like for me, this is his best body.
No skips. You
like
said Forest Hills
no
Drive.
skips
No
at
skips.
all.
Impossible. This one is
the only one. The only one. Actually, it's not even a skip, but there's only one track where I'm like, there's a line on it where I'm like, what are you saying, Cole? That 100 mil one.
Yes,
there's a line about Michael B. Jordan.
Say again.
I'm like,
say it.
Yeah,
What's the line?
Where is it? I don't want to get it.
The song's a gas, though. No, I'm not going to take it away. The song is a gas.
It's not a skip, but it's like that line. Every time I'm like, why did you say that?
Please
Find
find it.
If someone
please
says
find the
no
line.
skips, I will like reason with you, but that is the one song that I'm a bit like, yeah, because there is something. What is that line, Sean? That is because
I need to get it right. Wait.
This could be
the
enough.
Let me get up.
the rest of the album is sick because I'm telling you, interlude is one of You know, for an interlude, that is one of the best interludes ever. And I'm sorry, it
Oh,
was
yeah,
a gas
no.
because he
The way that
he
was the
dropped
first
interlude
single.
before exactly.
What? That's
man.
insane,
And then when
man.
it's disgusting. And every time I go back to that track, I'm like, this is just unbelievable. Like for an interlude, and he's barring like that. I love that song. That song is incredible.
It's so deep as well.
Yeah.
This is a
Currently
great
doing
album.
VAR on the Michael B. Jordan line. 'Cause I need to hear it.
Yeah, this is a great album. When this dropped, I got so gassed. I think I invited Armani, one of our friends from school, around, and we just banged it out for like 2 hours. We were just going crazy over this. We went
What
in
do you
the
think
car.
we were doing? We were doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, we were doing the same thing.
Hey,
I
was in
got
the car.
hyped over my life, you know. If you listen to the recording, I was getting gassed off of my life to the point where it's actually quite disturbing how gassed I was getting.
Our review is so
It's all
funny
valid.
though, because we spoke about that first track for so long because you just can't move off it.
Sorry, go on,
Every
Lewis.
bar he's doing on
You
that.
talked about your experience with this album, riding around, listening to it, all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
we even got in the car, put the top down. We was banging out all the songs like in the streets. We was just like blaring it out, like Pride is the Devil as well. Yeah, man, we were just going crazy. Like when 21 came on in My Life as well. Yeah, we was like, it was doing the ad libs and all that. Yeah, we was going crazy. It was fun. It was a good time. And Miri as well. Great fucking song. Great.
We've got
great.
an interesting story about the Amari beat, actually.
What with the Timbo?
Timbaland, yeah. So Timbaland made that on one of his legendary live streams. He's done so many now, you know, they're all legendary. And he made it. J. Cole heard it, was like, yo, send me that beat. And Timbaland is what I call a pure producer. If he doesn't like a beat, he just deletes it. So he deleted that and had to remake it for J. Cole. So that's a nice little Easter egg for the listeners.
Yeah, it's great album. Great.
Sean, have you found this line yet? Because we're waiting before Neil says his pick.
Yeah. So he says, "Don't care if it's Michael B. Jordan that's calling my woman to fuck. She ain't gonna never pick up."
Oh, I get that.
I just remember hearing that though in that song after what he's saying before, just being like, "Why did you?"
What
say
did he
that?
say before?
Because every girl was saying that they fancy Michael B. Jordan. He was like the number one sexiest man in the world.
Michael B. Jordan was like he was.
You guys are saying was like Michael B. Jordan still ain't hot.
No, but in terms of like you know every year or month, whatever, they have a list.
Everybody
of like
wanted to be on this guy though. Man.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was like fantasizing about Michael B. Jordan. The amount of videos I've seen where like literally you see fully grown women and fully grown celebrities like absolutely breaking down because they
He was walking through Oxford Street the other week, and I had to send a few messages to the man and be like, make sure your girl is inside. Michael B. Jordan is local. It's not a joke. It's dead serious.
Stop it. I thought that was a witty line. I loved it. I thought it was a witty line.
Maybe I missed the joke with it, but it always like I never even with like sorry when I first ever heard it, I'm like listening to the verse, I'm hearing what he's saying, and he says that, I'm like, well, where did that come from?
I kid you not, like they were literally everything was talking about Michael B. Jordan and how he's the sexiest man. Like,
oh no, I understand. Yeah.
I think at this time,
it could have been LL Cool J. It could have been Aaron Pierre. Like
he's come off the back of what? He's on like Creed 2 or 3 by this point, and he's done Black Panther. Like
Laurie Harvey as well. He's with as well.
Yeah. I feel the bar, but I understand where Sean's coming from. But all right, Neil, take us to your side of this, where we get your track pick and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, let me just go through. Yeah, so my era obviously is still the feature run, but it's also kind of highlighting the anticipation, the fall off. When will that album drop? Would it be this year? Would it be next year? Who knows? This point in his career, we all know J. Cole has alluded that he's probably going to retire after the fall off. He's mentioned that this is also going to be his last Dreamville Festival this year as well. So it's very much all eyes are on him. People have been waiting for this for years, as you guys already know, listen to the podcast. So yeah, everyone's kind of waiting to see what he would do, especially after the crazy whirlwind of a year he had last year amongst the beef between his counterparts, Drake and Kendrick. But for me, this year has also been another year, or 2 years has been a great year of him showing his talents and his features as well. He dropped another great album, Might Delete Later. For me, absolute no skips. This is very simple. This is like a a part two of off season to me. Like in terms of like just rapping wise, he's going crazy. Like I'm sorry, it's just fun, and he brings a new vibe, Central C, to the table, and absolutely bodies it. I think this new era of J. Cole is another peak for me. I think going because we're at the fifth era, going back from the eras that were mentioned, peaks, Forest Hill Drives, the off season, and now this season now because his features, I've got a long list that I'll soon mention. He's the most of them, 99%. He's killed. There's one or two that's questionable for some people. We'll get into that. But yeah, his features run has been absolutely immaculate, and the album he drops. So yeah, I think what I'll do, I'll talk about the good things that I liked. Actually, should I give my song?
Yes, please.
I think this is me being biased. I think I had the hardest one because tensions and emotions are still high in this era of how you feel about his actions as of late. But to sum it all up, I was stuck between three songs, but I'm gonna stick with keep it simple. I'm gonna stick with Clouds.
Oh, see, that's a
It had to be in it.
Yes.
I can't.
He's borrowed too
I
hard.
can't.
God, he's
do you know what? I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. I'm not gonna, say let's not play it. But I'm sure we all have collectively been listening to this song non-stop.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
It has to be like I want to like. There's other songs that he has, but that is the one. That
This
we all
is
have
just
to pay
proves to
attention
me
to.
that
Cole.
I could still believe in Cole because of this. That has to be pick of the night, even though it's literally his most recent release. That just proves that J. Cole still got it.
Absolutely phenomenal.
You want to talk about top three, yeah? None of the top three or the people in contention have dropped anything as close to good as that.
Trust me, like, this is music.
Unreal.
Man.
Unreal.
Oh.
Short
Like,
face is
the man-
Take him in, bro. Take him in. The first verse is crazy, but the second verse is even crazier.
Yeah, the flow just
The
doesn't
wheel
stop.
ups.
Oi.
Man.
I couldn't.
was
When I
DJing
first
there.
heard this song, I didn't make it past 2 minutes for like the first 6 listens because I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
It's the way I keep discovering some of the new lyrics. That like Sandra Bullock line with the speed.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
gassed. Oh my god!
I'm getting
Honestly.
past the top layer now, and I'm digging down. I'm like, when he's talking about the bullet that missed Trump, is he saying that he had an intention of doing something, but it was veered off course? Do you see what I'm trying to say? What is he alluding to? There's so much depth in this one track that's just like, you can't deny that J. Cole, like I said in the chat, he's not the GOAT, but it's undeniable that he's very, very good at what he's doing.
He's the GOAT.
The next album might solidify that, yeah. The next album might solidify that, and I'll jump to your side very happily, like I did with Nas later in his career. But at this moment in time,
For real, you
did switch with Nas a lot.
it's when the quality is undeniable. That's when I will give the fair opinion of, okay, this person is one of the best.
We just mixtapes, Forest Hill Drive, Off Season, Might Diddy Later, and then this. That is more than enough.
No, it's not.
Like I haven't even talked about, and there's so many songs in between that are fucking amazing.
I'll tell you why
but
it's not enough.
That
right?
alone,
It's not enough because
for you,
as much as we, as people that love hip hop and rap, are talking about it, he is not getting the same love and shine like a Kendrick and Drake is at the moment.
the undeniable,
That's
unanimous.
Kieran sees where I'm coming from. It's not me saying out of place. It's the truth.
He's got to be undisputed, No, I hear it. He's got to be undisputed.
He needs to unite
Kendrick.
the
Why
belts
is
from
he-
I'm
Why?
sorry,
different
Why?
leagues.
I don't
Bring them
understand this
together.
whole Kendrick craze. Yeah, for me, this Kendrick craze and love has only gone like this level because of this whole beef.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not.
Before that, you have to be a hip hop head to be into Kendrick. I don't see.
100%.
Whereas J. Cole, like you don't have to be, and you'll still know bears of his hits. I don't understand.
So J. Cole and Drake were at one point and a few other points neck and neck, right? Where we're talking about hit songs, whatever. And Scary Hours is where I was like, oh, okay, I like them two together. Are we going to get the collab project we were promised way back when? Then obviously what's happened has happened. At the moment, I feel the seed is actually open. Everyone says it's Kendrick. It's not. Kendrick's there for now. He's holding the spot for now. I feel like it's open, and the only person that can jump into that void and has enough of a back catalogue for people to listen to and go, oh shit, I've been missing out, is J. Cole. And when I say
Yeah.
jump in the void, I mean as in can make the music that appeals to all these audiences that are not currently locked into J. Cole.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Mass hits.
I'm
potential.
I'm not liking this whole like Kendrick and Drake are like these fucking Drake's as the only one I can see like but Kendrick's for me is only as recent why he's got this massive crazy.
Okay, I'll list it for you why it is how it is. Drake has the most undeniable hits out of any
Drake's
top
fine.
out of the
Don't
top
defend
three.
Drake.
But I'm getting to Kendrick. Kendrick has the highest level of ability out of all of the top three. He has the highest level of ability.
No, but look, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Neither Drake nor J. Cole hasn't. They don't make bodies of work like Kendrick.
So that's
Lamar.
what I mean by
they're not
ability.
artists like on that.
That's
level.
what I mean by
Kendrick
ability.
Lamar is a different level of artist. There's no
That's
like
fine.
to me. There's
what
no.
I'm saying is
there's
J. Cole
there's no
can do
conversation.
that, and the proof is in the off season, the early mixtapes, Born Sinner, and 2014 Forest Hills Drive. Even though I didn't like it, the potential and ability is there for J. Cole to step into this void and completely run the scene. And he is problem free, talented beyond belief. He could have like, you know how like NBA players are playing a lot later now. You know, they're playing in their 30s quite comfortably into their 40s for some people. I think J. Cole could hit a new spot where he's in his late 30s, early 40s, and he's running the game easily.
What I'm trying to say is I'm not taking away Kendrick's rapping ability. That's not what I'm saying. I just think J. Cole has way more mass appeal than Kendrick before this happened with whole Kendrick and Drake thing. That's all I'm saying. That's why I was like, I don't feel like Kendrick was like that much above him in terms of like appeal wise and reception. Artistry, that's a different conversation, and you guys can have that, all that kind of stuff. But I'm talking about just appeal and consumerism. I think J. Cole and Kendrick are not that far apart. I think Draco's higher before the past events of 9 to 12 months.
Kendrick makes music for music nerds, and unfortunately, music nerds are the loudest, right? So we'll scream and shout about an artist from the top of our lungs, right? J. Cole makes music that's for everybody, but has something for the nerds. And the problem is, right now, I don't think Mike Delete Later was enough for me personally to put him where you're putting him at, Neil. Personally, for me.
All right, ask me this. Do you think Mike Delete Later is better than GNX, or GNX is better than Mike Delete Later?
GNX is better, but because it's riding off the back of the beef, that's why.
I actually don't. I've been wanting to have this conversation because I've been trying to not be.
That is a good question, you know.
GNX for me.
If you take the beef out of it, GNX is not a good project, but you put the beef back into it, GNX is fantastic. So how can I?
The beef makes GNX crazy.
GNX for me.
How can I do that?
It's when you return to it after the beef, man. I don't.
GNX for me is weak to me. Honestly, is weak. In comparison to Mike Delete Later, it's weak.
It has a bigger hit though. It has a bigger hit. That
because
Luther
of the
song
beef.
Is that that Luther song with SZA.
Oh, that's good. That's amazing. That's amazing. That is a hit.
Later doesn't have anything close to that.
I agree.
It's a rap album.
I agree.
Later, and
I agree.
I wasn't really, you know what I mean.
I agree, but
oh man, this is such an interesting topic though, because I see where you're coming from.
What is the? I need to.
Because
I don't get the comparison. I'm gonna
no.
No.
Because I understand where Neil's coming from. Because if you break it down,
fair thing.
No, if you break it down, this is what I was trying to say before. The levels that J. Cole was rapping at Might Delete Later, are just absolutely unbelievable. And there's points in GNX where it's a far superior. My only argument would then be it goes back to then the artistry, because what Kendrick did with Reincarnated. I'm like that's when you then tip it back over and you think, oh god, if you go back to Mark Delete Later, but J. Cole wasn't trying to do anything like that. But that's when you then look at Kendrick and think, damn, that level of artistry.
Why did Kendrick go so hard on a mixtape? It's because he had no option other than to go that hard. You see what I'm trying to say? This is just J. Cole going, here's a project. And it's way harder than GNX. If you look at it, it's just a project versus just a project. Might Delete Later is harder, but it's a rap mixtape.
I don't hear it. I don't hear it.
Without the beef, GNX is not hitting the same way. Is what I understand what Neil's saying.
Yeah, I think as well, because like I play both of them, and Might Delete Later gets way more replay value for me for what I want to listen to. GNX, what I really love on there would be the Luther track.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And if I really wanted to like put something else in there, what's that song that he does? I just want to have it all. What's that song?
Oh, Man in the Garden.
Man in
Man in the Garden.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Man in
Yeah,
the Garden.
that one. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm like in the gym, or if I'm trying to like have my revenge arc era, or like, like, do you know
I
what I
ain't
mean?
gonna lie,
Like,
that song, yeah, when it first
like, be
came
that
out,
guy.
I started my day with that every day. I was
Yeah, like
this is
motivational
my
wise.
vibe.
Yeah, like that is hard. But if I'm talking about like rap, like just enjoying rap music, I think I prefer way more Mike Diddy Later.
But then you got to think like, can Cole
Way
put together
more.
like a Super Bowl like Kendrick did? That's all.
No,
I'm not even
and
talking
it
about
brings me
that.
back to what I was saying earlier.
Wait,
Cole can't
wait,
perform.
yeah.
He doesn't perform. He doesn't
That
have
is-
the same vision as Kendrick.
That's going off topic. I'm just talking about
I was just trying to bring the whole picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I just think.
What is the? Because I've kept quiet about Mike Diddy Later because it's come up randomly in previous episodes, and I've not wanted to just like put it down on things. But we're talking about Cole, so we might as well flesh it
Yeah.
out. Like for me, I don't hear it. Like I the only thing that I get from Mike Diddy Later is that Cole's rapping at a high level, which he has been for God knows how long anyway. But for me, like he's not really. It didn't add anything to his story, to his legacy. Like for me, it's his most unnecessary project. Like at this point, it was like,
no, hang on. Is this
for me? It was
is
like
this
we're
Sean
gearing up to
talking?
fall off.
No way.
Yeah, I'm being dead
It's
serious.
vicious.
Like, for me, it was like
yeah,
we're gearing up
it's so vicious.
what?
Keep
What?
going, man.
Vicious?
It's
No, go on.
interesting. No, please.
No, I'm saying like so there was the checklist, and we're gearing up for this fall off album, and then suddenly out of nowhere we get this like quite random mixtape that isn't really saying anything. It's just talking about how good of a rapper he is, and I get it. Like okay, song for song, if it's your cup of tea, that's great. But like I'm not seeing or hearing the greatness in it. I'm just like, oh, Cole's been doing this, and it's like. Personally, it wasn't what I was expecting. That's fair enough, but I don't get anything from it, is what I'm saying.
So-
I guess, and this was on my first listen as well. So this was before the apology or anything like that. I heard it the first time, and I was like, okay, like could have done without that, but it's cool. But like, so I'm not hearing the greatness in it personally. I don't know where that.
It sounded like
greatness
he
is.
wanted a conscious or specific type of album from him.
I wanted the fall off.
Okay, no,
Let's be real.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is true.
but it wasn't a fall off. But it sounded like he went in there wanting something specific.
This is the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, because look, listen. Maybe I like put a bit too much stock into like bodies of work and that. But I'm thinking the last time I heard Cole, Hunger on Hillside, I'm hearing what he's talking about. I'm seeing the sort of journey in that project. So to get from something like that to HYB, I'm like, well, what's the
Right.
The comparison is mad when you
Nice.
couple years ago, now we're
Even
here.
though I like
I'm
it,
like-
I like it, man. But
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. So
Yeah, so sorry, I don't mean to be. I'm not trying to like shit on anyone or anything. I'm just saying I can't. I've listened to it like 5-6 times at this point. I just can't. I just can't see it. Can't see it.
But yeah, see, I'm not seeing it as it being a kind of a continuation from previous songs or that album in terms of like it has to be the same theme or the same message. Like I'm still up for bullshit, superficial songs, whatever. As long as the quality is there for me, I'm there for it. The messages is important, but for me, it's also the quality and the content as well in terms of how it's delivered. And I think he delivered amazingly on every single one. I was like, yo, this is really good. I like this. It doesn't have to necessarily be trailblazing and different, but I liked it for what it was. I'm like, I can take this. And like, yeah, I think that's really good. But I think artists do that a lot. They flip and flop with their messaging in different projects and different songs. So I don't think he's the one to pick at about what is he saying when other artists do that as well. So for me, I don't really see why that's an issue.
It's not so much it's an issue. It's just like I don't get anything. It's like again, it's another one where it's like this isn't bad music. It's not a bad project. It just doesn't. It's just not sticking with me.
Fair.
I guess, but like from what you're saying, which is helpful. I guess it's perhaps the expectation. It was like I was expecting something very different and got this, and then of course you can't. As much as I try to say, oh yeah, I'm looking at it in isolation. Of course, I'm thinking about what followed and all that as well. But yeah, for some reason, it just won't. We all have them, right? We all have projects where like we're kind of either on our own or it just never quite resonates for whatever reason. But whereas Clouds, I see it with Clouds. It's like, oh my goodness, the craft is on a elite level. I think the production values there, the harmonies in the vocal. Like for me, that is like an elevation. And he's not, and that's not super deep. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like it's technical and it's like it's crafty and all that sort of shit. But it's like for me, it feels like the start of maybe some bigger conversations or themes that he might go into with whatever project he's dropping next. But that one, I see it in that track, but might delete later. The song I really do like is Sticks and Stones. That one I do.
That is a good
I go back to.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
I quickly want to get into some of his features that he's had in the past few years around his time. We have Ruby Rosary with ASAP. Great. The Secret Recipe, Yachty.
Oh, yeah.
See that track there, is an interesting duality because I didn't know Lil Yachty could spit like that. And that really, and then from there onwards, I've respected Lil Yachty to a new level. He's actually one of the richest rappers at the moment because of all the songwriting he does.
Yep.
Obviously, his label hasn't worked out how we thought it would, but Lil Yachty is someone that we need to pay attention to more often because he's not the broccoli guy anymore. He's or whatever his track was called, a Minnesota guy or whatever. Yeah, J. Cole.
Cole has this he has a semi Drake effect in this era.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. J. Cole put Lil Yachty back on the map for me.
100%.
He brought even though 21 Savage was having a moment, he brought 21 Savage to a new level. He's not brought ASAP Rocky to a new level, but he met him where he's at. J. Cole
He did it with Lil Durk as well.
Well,
I don't know if you were gonna say
we
that.
heard some of the best verses we heard from Central C.
They went and grabbed me with that as well.
You see what I'm trying to say? J. Cole is having that Drake effect, but also he's not having that Drake appeal. And I don't know, maybe because J. Cole doesn't play into the pretty boy aesthetic or make songs for women. Maybe it could be that. But sorry, Neil, you were saying before about
another one. He's got Two Summer from Cole. That R&B and hip hop collabs, absolutely amazing. It's more personal. So if Sean, I'm sure you like that one as well. First Person Shooter,
serious,
fucking banger, absolute banger. And that whole collab he did with Drake, all those songs were just absolutely amazing. Pretty Little Fears with Black, great song. He did another song with T Grizzly. I forgot what it was called.
You're missing my favorite one still, man.
Which one is it? What's your one?
The Benny the Butcher one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That might be my favorite.
I've got an interesting thing to say because I don't think J. Cole's verse is the best verse on that.
You didn't like that,
I've never understood when you
that sent
not
me
like that, man.
he was talking like a messiah or something.
He was talking like a messiah, man.
Maybe because I was so caught up in the Benny the Butcher hype that I didn't really take J. Cole in, but I just think Benny is an animal on that whole project.
Yeah, Benny was crazy on that. That's true.
The way he starts that verse, man. What does he say? On the night I was born, rain was pouring.
On the night I was born.
I don't know.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
But
the beat makes that song though. That beat is one of the best.
It's one of the best hip hop beats I've ever heard.
The beat's
let's be
incredible.
honest.
Yeah, that's exactly. If I said to if someone said to me, "What's hip hop?" I would play them that beat. About that beat.
Yeah,
that's bad.
Do you know? Just to go back to the Secret Recipe. You know, Sam, you were saying earlier about middle child, kind of like alluding to, or like prefacing the beef or whatever. There were some lines on this where I thought Cole was maybe saying something.
Well, Yachty's saying that the whole time, so it only makes sense that Cole's saying the same thing as well. Like you haven't been looking at my shit properly, like pay attention type vibes.
He said something like, I've got it here. It says like, well, we got to wait till the end bit though. He says like, fake progressive and woke. I started saying less. I had to stop it. Peeped how they profit off of racial stress. Some activists got so rich they probably wish they stay oppressed. Studio steppers moving extra on songs, faking rep. I was like. It was the steppers part after like Mr. Brown, the big steppers. I was like,
relate to him as well.
Yeah, but the whole thing, like
if the shoe fits,
it was that bit at the end. It was the steppers bit where I was like, oh, all that other stuff might be,
No, you're valid.
It felt like he was kind of taking a little jab at that.
It's a good boss. Good boss as well. Like,
man.
I think it's only right though that we let Neil kind of wrap up this episode as the current biggest and most consistent J. Cole fan.
you
got to send it over us.
I think the question to all of us is like, with his last album, the fall off will that cement him and his legacy, and the pressures and is there pressure on him to deliver such an album? I think the pressure is definitely on him for sure. More so only because of the last few couple months or year we've had. If it wasn't for the beef and the events in that beef after, during, and before, then maybe not as much. But now it's on. I think it's because the people that were in the beef, including himself for a little part of it, have all had big moments that everyone talked about. And now the dust is settled, it's time for his big moment. And what's it going to be? And I think as well, I think it's a nice, beautiful way to end all the bullshit. If you know what I'm saying, all the
Yeah, no
arguments.
gimmicks. I get
Yeah, it's a nice way to kind of be like, look, this is it. This is what I'm saying. And I think, Sean, you'll get what you want from this project. I think it's going to be very in depth. I think it's going to be very personal. I think it's going to convey a message to where he's at in life and where he wants to go and not go. And I think he will speak to the masses. And I think everyone will find something in this project that they will like. I can't say it'll be the best album yet, but I think it'll be, just of what we've had so far and the amount of sauce he's put on it, I think it will be above an 8 out of 10. And I think it will be in the argument of one of the best albums. It wouldn't say the best album, I'd say it'll be in the argument.
Do you know what it? Do you know what it is, Neil? And just so I'm clear, because like I know it's probably come across a little bit that I've been like quite negative and like harsh on Cole, but it comes from a place of like he is genuinely one of my favorite rappers, right? Like still to this day, like I feel like I kind of came up on his music. I always check for Cole, and it comes from a place of like it annoys me when I hear people talk about him having like being like surface level or like never been able to do this, never like it should never be in the conversation with the the other names you mentioned, all this, like, because it actually gets on my nerves because I know he's capable of it. I know that he's done it, whether it be with hit records or like individual songs or even like throughout like bulks of bodies of work and that. I know he's capable of putting something to get like a full piece of work that shows everything that he's capable of, but he's just, in my opinion, not quite done it. So that's why I get a little bit passionate and it can sometimes come across like I'm being a bit harsh on him. So I hope so, man, because for me it's like he's cemented for me as a fan. Do you know what I mean? Like regardless of what I say about like might delete later in this song and that era or whatever, he's cemented for me. But I want him to be accepted by like the masses.
That's impossible.
As one of the greats. No, but like there's certain not everyone. You know what I mean? But like we know that there's certain rappers that they come up in this person's list or in this conversation and that where they're solidified, even though there's been missteps or project. Like look at an example is Jay-Z, for instance, right? Not every album is great. I know he had a run where they're big, they're hit records, but like the legacy on that front is solidified.
The last album Jay-Z released is one of the best rap albums to ever exist. Fight with yourself about that one. 444 is one of the greatest rap albums to ever come out. So
yeah, I agree.
To back up what Neil was saying, but that's what I want. If the fall off is what it's meant to be, then the whole bits we've discussed here about up, down, hit and miss, it can all be deleted and go.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all part of the journey, isn't it? Like, but that's I guess that's what I want. Is I'm tired of like hearing certain, especially over the last year, where there's certain things have happened in relation to the beef and that. I want it for Cole. He don't need it. Like he's comfortable by the looks and sounds of things and that, and like I say, in my opinion, has solidified himself. But if he's able to achieve what a lot of people say he hasn't done up until this point with this last album, something that he's been teasing for a long time as well, I'll be so happy for him, man. I just really want it for him, to be honest.
I think, honestly, you forget that J. Cole is an athlete, and one thing athletes know how to do is train when no one's looking. So when it comes to game time, they can start performing at that highest level. I think J. Cole's been doing a bit of training behind the scenes and then, training in public with all these features. And hopefully, judging by the last thing we heard from him, which is Clouds, there's no debate that the Fall Off is going to go into that kind of category of the best rap albums ever. If it delivers on the promises of the most recent thing I've heard. I don't have no doubt in that.
I hear what Sean was saying as well about like I want to see him in everyone's top 10 lists of all time. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he deserves to be there anyway. I remember literally in 2011, like, I was just like, man, I think this guy might be the best rapper ever. You know, I was just hella gassed back then. But those mixtapes were so hard, and living through that was a lot. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, out of all the current top three, he's definitely taken us on the most chaotic ride, if that makes sense. A lot of up and down for me, but the ups are high and the downs are like not as low as I make them out to be, but they hurt more.
They're really not, man.
Yeah,
like
they
if we
hurt
talk
more.
about Jay
They're
as
not
well,
been that bad. Yeah.
Jay-Z's got lower lows than Cole. Let's be honest.
Everyone in the top three has had
I
lower
agree,
lows
I
than
agree.
Cole. Cole's lowest low is some
They're
people's
not that-
all
not
right.
that bad,
You know what I
man.
mean?
Yeah,
If you pick up on the sneak list,
like,
they're all right. Who's released a track that's called All Right?
But even if we like, you know, it's almost impossible to avoid. Even if you compare him to Kendrick and Drake, like I would say that Drake's got, in terms of like the quality of his music and his art, more lows than Cole. I think that
100%,
Kendrick's got more
100%.
questionable actions and controversies than Cole.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? So Cole
more
is
than the
more.
music.
I think what the problem is it's kind of been a bit. It's like it's been middle of the road almost. But like that sounds a bit harsh. But like I just want that for him and for like the fans and everything like that one undeniable body of work where people can maybe start looking back at the other stuff and going, oh, hold on a minute, maybe I was a bit out of pocket there or a bit harsh. Because like I say, when people are telling me, he doesn't really go in depth or like vulnerable and all this, and I'm thinking, have you heard Once an Addict? Have you heard Breakdown? Have you like, do you know what I mean? Like,
it's such a good song, man. What a good.
it's just that he doesn't
yeah,
have
it's
that
brilliant.
complete body of work where people. But for me, the off season is like close to that. But yeah, man. I really hope he delivers. Really hope.
I hope the Fall Off comes out this year, and at some point this year, maybe even at award season, we're having this conversation, but to a higher level where we go, you see, go back and listen to the Discog discussion. See, we've been through all the ups and downs of the emotionalness. Neil's been rocking with this guy from the beginning to the end. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to see. That would be a good, like, you know when the movie ends on a happy kind of like they sail off into the sunset? That's what I hope we get for Cole.
Yeah, man. Everyone go listen to Love Yours, man.
Hey, this is Sean, and thanks for listening to another episode of The Grey Area. Are you an upcoming artist, critic, journalist, or content creator? Hit us up on our Discord or in our YouTube comments if you want to share new music, take part in an interview, or are interested in collaborating. Links to these can be found in the show notes. Take care.